What's up, shifters? Here's Jen coming at you on Fun Friday. And I wanted to remind you first off about a couple of things, share some exciting news as well. But thought that today we'd also talk a little bit about positive self-talk. So for you all who joined the macros class last Monday, it seems like this has kind of gotten some legs, and so I thought I'd share. One of the things that we talked about was our internal talk track, right? And one of the things that I shared is that at home, if you don't know this yet, and if you're watching, drop me a hello, drop me a how are you doing this week? Would love to hear from you. Hi, Lori. Hi, Terry. Good to see y'all. And so I was sharing that in the macros class, we were talking about self-talk. And I don't know how many of y'all know, I have two boys, one's 5 and one's 9, and they both have come from foster care. And we got the pleasure of adopting our oldest son just about last year, actually the year before that, so November of 2020, and the same month, we also had another placement with us. So at that point, as you can imagine, these two kiddos have been through a lot, and one of the things that's really easy for them to revert to is that negative self-talk, that negative chatter. And so my wife and I made kind of, I guess, some guidance, I guess you can call it that, at home, that whenever our boys would engage in that negative self-talk, we would guide them to tell me 3 positive things about yourself. And at first it was a little bit of a challenge, but it's gotten a lot easier. So I'll kind of get into that a little bit more. But first off, I wanted to remind everybody, there was actually an accountability buddy challenge this week. It looked a little different than the week before. It wasn't necessarily about movement and eating vegetables and, getting meditation or stretching and etc. And strength building. It was more about your workbook. So if you have not had the ability to sign into the module yet, please do that. There are so many good resources on there, and you'll notice that one of those things is a workbook. And on one of those first pages of the workbook, it talks about an action checklist. And that action checklist is supposed to be really easy, but what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to ground you on 3 goals that you're trying to achieve daily. And I think we have 8 or 9 different things on there. So if you haven't had the chance to do that, if you haven't had the chance to figure out your goals that you were aiming for this week, today it's still not too late, right? We can always make shifts. We can always decide that, yeah, sure, I didn't do that yesterday, but yesterday was an old day. Today's a new day. And then just, kind of hook up with your accountability partner. Maybe it's just a simply message on Messenger. Maybe it is a phone call you want to make, whatever it is, just to make sure that you're grounded in those goals. So that was a call to action this week, and I just wanted to kind of give y'all a reminder about that there is an accountability buddy challenge this week. It looks a little different, but that's for you to do out there. And then we also have some more fun brewing for next week, and I think y'all will have a little bit of excitement around this. But usually as we're going through any kind of change in our life, whether that is workout, exercise, movement, job change, diet, nutrition, whatever it is, at some point in the journey, usually about after the fun has died down a bit, after the newness has died down a bit, one of these things creeps in, and it's self-doubt. And I think we all know what it feels like. We probably have all heard that little voice in our head that creeps in regarding self-doubt. And I think some of you have also, you're very welcome, Mariek. Thank you for those kind words, and hello to you as well. So I was talking, about self-doubt, and I've already shared this a little bit with y'all, but one of the craziest things I've ever done in my life is actually just pack my bags and go sell books door to door, in a random state I've never been to, and talk to strangers. And let me tell you, that took a lot of guts. And the first week, even though I kind of shared it was, a lot of new habits are forming, and definitely it was a stretch for me, right? It was uncomfortable, I guess you would say. When the second week came around, when the third week came around, and it was a 12-week summer, self-doubt started to creep in. And a lot of my self-doubt, and just sharing this vulnerably with you, has to do with me being overweight when I was growing up. And I got bullied quite a bit. I felt like the entire school was against me, but I was bullied quite a bit, and I still carry some of that around today. I still carry some of those voices, some of that baggage around. And so going out to explore this new thing I had signed up for the summer, trust me, when week 2, 3, and 4 were seeping in and I wasn't making the sales and I wasn't getting the successes that I wanted, all those voices about all the things that I've ever been told in my life by the people who really weren't in my life anymore but had left some wounds were really creeping in. And that's when, again, I seem to keep having these moments in my life where I have these mentors who come in and they share some of the gold nuggets. And so I'm here to share these same gold nuggets with you that were shared with me. One of the things we used to do selling books, and as crazy as it may sound, is where we had positive affirmations. And we would kind of do this in a group setting, and it would be like 7:30 in the morning, and we'd go out to a parking lot after we had just eaten breakfast, and we'd jump around and say things. And there was just this level of energy that really, like, you felt you could conquer the world after that. And just to kind of share a little bit with those folks on our group that actually do ride the Peloton. Again, I love the Peloton. I love Orange Theory, but I just took a Peloton ride this week about 2 days ago, and it was an M&M ride. And if you're looking for a boost of energy, a boost of positive affirmation, a boost of you can do it all, for some reason that man speaks to me. And again, we have pump up songs today that we're talking about. So again, find those things that really get you going. But for me, again, it was a lot of that positive self-talk. And when we would do these rituals, for lack of a better word, in the parking lot, and people looked at us funny, and people didn't believe in us, and all these things, I would carry that out to the book field. And then when it was 2 p.m., and, middle of summer, 110 degrees in Mississippi, and, people are closing the door in my face, that's what I would keep repeating to myself in my mind. And so what I ask of you today is, what is that positive affirmation? One of the things, again, I've shared a little bit before with you, is I had an old mentor who would always tell me, what will you be known for? And when I'm stuck in the dirt and I quite don't know which direction to go, just sitting with that for a minute really helps me out. The other thing I'll tell you, just sharing personal experience with you, hi Anna, is a lot of that stuff that seeps into my head, all those negative things that can happen and we can say to ourselves, and we probably do to say to ourselves, especially when we're going through change and conflict and things that are uncomfortable, is who left that there? And for me, it was a whole bunch of bulliers in the 7th and 8th grade that honestly, I don't remember their names, but I do remember the way they made me feel. And one of the things I decided, was I refused to keep giving those people power. Yeah, they tore me down. Yeah, I felt like not my best, putting a 4-letter word in there. But I refused to continue to give those people power. And so my question to you is, what is your self-talk? And if it is negative and those moments seep in, what is your why behind them? Why do you engage in those moments? Why are you in those moments sometimes? And maybe for you, it's something to do, like for me, it has something to do with my childhood. And then thinking about, why do we keep giving those thoughts power? And I think if we kind of go through that process, it'll really help us to understand that we are amazing humans, that we are superb athletes, and that we really have magical things in our life, right? And again, the stretch after that, just like I ask my kiddos, is, what are those 3 positive things about yourself? And I know that there's a couple of shifters right now who are going through this journey where every single day they write something in their journal that's positive about them. And I think if you look around, you probably share those positive things with your friends. And all I keep asking is that, as kind as you are to your friend who maybe just broke a PR, who just adopted, a new nutrition commitment, who just changed a job, who's going through this life experience, we're usually very kind to them. But we're not as kind to ourselves, right? So again, this week, think about that negative self-talk. Think about how it's impacting you and who you're giving power to, because I can tell you they don't deserve it. So again, that's my words of wisdom, I guess you could say, for today. I have decided that, I'm going to leave the kind of this baggage and y'all, just to be completely transparent, I've gone through my own journey with this, and I've gone through my own therapy, etc. with it as well. But I just refuse to ground my power in the negative things and in the negative people. And it's time to spread some kindness, and that includes self-love for ourselves. Assignment for this week: go get those goals. Know that you've got it, that you're amazing. And then the other two things I'll plant with you is, if you haven't looked on the Facebook page for Shifters yet, we want to know how much you've got and how much far you've come. And I think, everybody in this group has had such great wins. And so we've decided that at the end of this challenge, actually on February 27th, on that Sunday, we're going to host a virtual 5K and a walk or run. And all the profits are going to go to a local domestic violence organization that really helps a more comprehensive domestic violence organization. So if that's something that calls to you, if you want to see how far you've come, we challenge you to join us. And next week also we'll have some head-to-head fun. So we're going to go back a little bit to that buddy challenge, but I think we're going to divide up in teams. Again, nobody has to do this, but anybody who wants to sign up for that fun, I'll drop something later on, probably on Saturday, regarding setting some teams and setting up a fun challenge. So Phyllis, thanks for watching. Anna, thanks for watching. Thank you all for watching. I'd love to hear how your week is going. And again, don't give those negative self-thoughts and those negative people in your life power. They don't deserve it. You're amazing.